The arrival of your goal will never be as more important than the journey it took to get there. The arrival of your goal will never be as important than the journey it took to get there. I just want to let that one marinate for a little bit. I've been a victim of this mindset of when I get X amount of thing, when I tick that goal, when my bank account reaches that amount, when I get that amount of muscle, whatever it is, then I'll be satisfied. Then I would approve of myself. Then I would be happy. That's a mistake that I feel like I've repeated a lot coming up in my life. Now that I'm in my 30s, my early 30s, I have a different mindset of how I view goals versus the progression. I had it all wrong, you know, and I know there's other men out there, other young men out there that kind of got it twisted, thinking that when they reach the X amount of money, or they get that car, or they get that title, they get the promotion, then they'll start living, then they'll be happy, then they can really take the foot off the gas and be like, I made it. But just like the shiny toy syndrome. The faster you get that thing that you've always wanted, the faster that feeling will leave. And I'm a big believer of now that it's not what you get, it's what it took for you to get there. When you're in the gym, you're grinding, and you finally get that body, you finally get that low body percentage, or you finally get that X amount of like pull-ups, for example. Reaching that summit of that mountain is great, but it's the character development that you build on your way there. You know, like I always thought like, oh, once I crack this job, once I crack this promotion, then I'm gonna start living it up. I'm gonna start doing my thing. But then as soon as those things came to me, as soon as I got there, I was like, now I just want more. I wasn't able to fully come to terms of how satisfied I was with where I'm at, because maybe I took the process or the progress for granted, and I just wanted the thing at the end, whether it was for other people to look at me and be like, yo, he did it. Or for other factors. Maybe I just wanted the title, whatever, or maybe I just wanted X amount of things to make me feel happy, but it was always mine, and it's always yours. I got a few notes here that I just want to bulletproof and just go off. I read something that said that you need to want less about these arrival experiences and allow more satisfaction with the process to progress. That's the thing, man. Like, when you really have a goal, you need to remove yourself from that outcome and pour everything into the income. Pour everything into the process. Be in love with being present with the forward motion that you're creating, because when it comes to a big goal that you're trying to achieve, it's easy to, remove yourself from the actual work and just think about the end product. But something that I had to learn was I had to zoom out and start focusing on individual piece, which is still important, but I had to look at the landscape of the board and be like, where do I really want to go and how do I want to go about it? The character development is always through the journey. The destination is a checkpoint, a signal of progression and growth. The work, hustle, and determination it took for you to hit $1 million is more satisfying than the arrival of that $1 million. The $1 million is the evidence, the checkpoint, the tick, the new standard for the next journey. There's a small amount of people out there that crack this code, really. I would say like 20% or less. It's all about that discipline. And this is one of the things I love talking about the most. When it comes to self-development, it's the discipline. Fuck all that self-motivational shit. That's one of the biggest lies out there, because if you're gonna wait for motivation to hit you for you to become the biggest version of yourself, bro, you're gonna be waiting a long time. One thing that I like to always rely on is the discipline self-belief, and God. And it doesn't matter where I go or what I do, it always comes back to God. You know, when I submit to God and I let God, you know, everything just starts to fall my way. Everything just, as soon as I surrender, submit, everything falls and comes my way. The more relaxed I am, the more I'm able to magnetize what I'm trying to attract and manifest. And have that plus me being present in the present moment of trying to achieve my goal and just working on the process and trusting the process, and just stacking up the progress. That is the true character development. That is the goal. That is the destination. The destination is in the journey. And if you're a young man out there watching this video, I will highly encourage you to focus more on the journey than the destination. The destination will always be there. You know, depending how bad you want it, the destination will always be there. But are you going to be the same person when you reach that destination? Because if so, I don't feel like that journey was hard enough. I don't feel like that journey taught you as much than you would have thought, you know? Because in order for me to want and strive for $1 million a year, if I want that to be, you know, my new annual, I no longer have to go in with the mindset of someone who earns 50K. And the journey to $1 million, I'm going to have to adopt a different mindset to someone who is earning 50. I have to go in with the mindset of someone who is earning $1 million. So I have to get rid of my old mind, my old ways, my old habits, my old way of being, you know? I have to trade that in order to be someone that, in order to align myself with someone who can earn that, who can align with that $1 million. And I'm just using that as an example, but you can use that across the board. The journey is where the magic is at, bro. The journey is where it's at. You know, you should always trust the process, trust yourself, always have that belief in yourself that you can fucking do it. Because you can. Nothing's stopping you but you. Forget about the destination and pour all into the journey. Pour all into trusting the process because it will work. You know, let go, let God. That's what I did. And I'll forever say that. I'll forever encourage people. It's not a religious thing. It's not super spiritual. It's within us. And I can dive deep into that video, into another video highlighting that topic. But for now, I just wanted to highlight the importance of like, just fucking let go, bro. You know, trust yourself more. To trust yourself is to trust the process. The outcome will always be there. But it's the man you become in that journey, in the pursuit to that goal, that makes it that much more satisfying. You know, it's all gonna be worth it in the end, man. I'm telling you. Whatever you're going at, whatever you're striving to become or striving to be at, stack all your chips against you, man. Stack all the chips onto you and just keep going. You know, bet on yourself. That's the only way to go. It's yours.